complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at aminet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit BigBlue.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic.
Heaviest traffic in the Wichita area right now appears to be on MacArthur between K15 and Oliver. Traffic update from 98.7 and 1330 KNSS. In the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, I'm Jad Chambers.
Weather.
We'll see bright blue skies today, but it stays cold. High only 45 or 15 degrees below normal with a light south breeze. Becoming partly cloudy, 32 tonight. Becoming mostly sunny, much warmer on Tuesday, high 67. More sunshine on Wednesday and a high near 70. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Get the latest on Kansas State football. It's the weekly edition of the K-State Chris Kleiman radio show with the head coach, 7 o'clock Wednesday evening. And that is right here on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Although I did post it on X last night, I think it bears repeating right here. Never again tell me that bad football is better than no football. Of course, I'm talking about that garbage we saw last night in Denver. Listen, we all know the Thursday product is always going to be inferior. NFL teams simply are not built to recover and play on short weeks. This is not an original thought. I know. We all long ago lowered our expectations for TNF. Again, thinking that bad football is still better than no football. But I'm here to tell you, I would have rather have done just about anything at all other than watch that game last night. Believe me, I have a lot of regrets in my life, but watching that game is right near the top of the list. And contrary to popular opinion, there is actually such a thing as bad sex, bad pizza, and yes, bad football, because that right there was some of the worst football I've ever seen. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome into Sports Daily. Another edition. We've got a lot to get to today. I'm Jacob Albrecht alongside TJ Cleveland. Max Power is over on the other side. He's taking your calls if you've got them at 869-1240. We're taking your comments any way you want to bring them. Facebook, YouTube, X. You can leave video comments there. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected. We've got a lot of you on the Odyssey app. We appreciate you however it is that you listen to the program. We appreciate it. Glad you're here with us today. Boy, I don't even know. I was thinking yesterday, like, where do you even start on a reaction Monday now that college basketball is back? And I don't have a great answer for you. We've got college hoops to talk about. We've got college football to talk about. We've got NFL football to talk about. Massive story in the gambling controversies developing over the weekend. It's all out there for you, and it's all brought to you. What's on Tap by Wichita Brewing Company with a hot link sandwich, split seared, served on a split top bun with chips and a drink for only $9. Perfect for lunch. The hot link sandwich now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. If I had to throw my hat in the ring on where we start, it might be on the star running back not being on the team in Manhattan, Kansas on November 10th, 2025.
Yeah. You got Dylan Edwards news that we've been hoping was a little better for K-State fans, but it is a wild time of year. Like there's not. I mean, thank goodness the Chiefs didn't play yesterday. I suppose because it was just like I just kept piling up, and we're sitting there, and it's like, okay, we're going to have a lot to get to on a Monday. Oh yeah, by the way, we will talk Chiefs with the Chiefs insider Josh Brisco today, and we will talk Shocker basketball coming up here in a little bit with Wichita State men's basketball coach Paul Mills as the Shockers impress us on Saturday, certainly getting to the 100 burger and continuing to build some early season momentum. We'll talk to Coach Mills a little later in the show to get you ready for that as well. My goodness, it was a good, I think, decent NFL Sunday. A couple of good matchups, a good one certainly tonight. Eagles, Packers, some teams trying to position themselves and be better and all of these things. And then the Bills go to Miami and lose by 17 points, TJ. So the NFL continues to play tricks on us all the time.
Yeah, I like that we had we finally started to have all the storylines in the row of saying like, well, the Chiefs are just going to have to do this and it's going to be tough for them to do it. And then the Bills go lose and then this team goes and loses. And now it's all misconstrued. Nobody knows what's going on at this point, but good week for the Chiefs to have off.
Yeah, just sit back, think about it a little bit. Mixed into all of that madness and chaos is last week, of course, on Thursday, Denver finding a way again to get a win, and Indianapolis getting an overtime win overseas in the morning game. As far as Chiefs chasing teams, as far as teams that, well, are going to be a problem later on if they can get there, the Ravens get a win on Sunday. So there's always a lot going on with the NFL, but it was a good time for a Chiefs bye. And we'll get into some of the NFL Sunday things as we make our way through. But let's spend a few minutes, TJ. College football. We saw KU lose. We'll get into that in just a little bit. They lost and really did damage, I think, to their bowl chances because it's a game they probably should have won. And they let it slip away, and that's happened to them a few times this year and last. But now getting that bowl game is going to be tough. But on the other side, the team that didn't play took a huge loss as K-State learns the fate of Dylan Edwards and that there is no more Dylan Edwards at K-State. Back in the portal for the fourth time in his college career. And the season sort of unraveled with the punt in Ireland and just continued to unravel. And now he'll get his eligibility back with a red shirt. This is what the conspiracy theorist out there had been afraid of for a long time, and it comes true.
Yeah, that's the thing that I brought up is that the red shirt part isn't a shock at this point because it's like, there's 2 games left. I don't know what we're really swinging and punching for. If he was healthy to coming back and play, I don't really know if it would have helped that much. I would have rather, if he stayed at K-State, I would rather have him have a red shirt year. And I think he feels the same way at this point. I think that was a different conversation for the Sunflower Showdown, because then you'd have, 4 games left, but 2 games is a lot less than 4 games, especially if you're not going to make a bowl game as well. So that went into effect into that, I think. But then it was the news an hour later where Dillon left in November that, that was a conspiracy theory, but I didn't think that had any, validity to it. Everything that we'd seen so far was the fact of Dillon's hurt, we're trying to get him back, and not the fact of Dillon's pissed and he doesn't want to play. He's going to dip out of here in November. I don't understand if there was, we're never going to know either if there was, any hostility from Dillon towards Kansas State, if it was something that they mishandled, if it was something else that they were upset with Dillon. I don't know what happened, and we're never going to know that answer. But the thing that I brought up is that it starts to raise maybe a warning sign that there could be more coming after the season of who that's going to be, because if Dylan Edwards is going to leave, who else is going to leave,
Yeah, for this specifically. But Dylan Edwards has left now before, and then left Notre Dame, and then left Colorado. And
he never was there.
I don't think that it's hard to go there just yet. It's hard to ever go anywhere as guys. You don't know what's out there for them. There are opportunities out there for a lot of these guys that maybe if the pros aren't on the books, you've got, chances to do things now as a football player. The bottom line is like players have to be put under contract. Like if you want to receive the things that you're going to receive here, you've got to be playing for us. Like you can't, especially before the season's even over, because that's the way the real world works for grownups. Is you can't just get paid for a bunch of services that aren't rendered. Leaving early doesn't make sense to me for somebody who's got a bunch of NIL stuff going with K-State. How does that work? Right? Like if I'm putting it out there as an NIL person and I've got, how does that work? What do you mean you're not going to be at K-State for the last month of the season?
You just don't get the checks. That's what happens if you're not at the university.
Yeah, I guess, but I think most of it's paid up front. So I don't know. I don't.
Monthly. That was the thing. It was monthly because that was the thing that K-State basketball. Remember, whenever all their players hit the portal, it was a lot of guys waiting until that next 2-week period in the summer because they'd get paid monthly or whatever it was.
Well, but and I'm not using this one specifically, but sometimes there is a car involved.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's stuff that you're not going to get back for sure.
There are commercials that were created. There are all kinds of things. There are appearances. There are lots of things, and it's just like it's all a part of this process of like we've got to learn how to best do this. Talked to a bunch of people this weekend about this story, and I'm like, we got to just get guys under contract, and then. It's like the coaches, and we make fun of the ridiculous buyouts and all of these things, but it's clearly stated what happens when somebody leaves, right? Like this is what happens, and then you deal with that as it comes. So
I think that the speculation that makes the most sense that you can make if you want to speculate is the fact of like Dillon knew that he wanted to transfer, and it was kind of getting to the point where it's like, I mean, he might be able to play these last 2 games, but maybe he doesn't want to at this point. And then if he stays, they're going to, make him dress out and make him go play. And, you don't want to be the guy saying, don't put me in the game, So I think it's better to just say, like,
make him go play. That's a funny statement. Make him go play. Well, he's no longer a K-State Wildcat. The Derby native will find a new stop soon, I'm sure. Hey, you can always count on Sundays with the NFL and CBS Paramount Plus. You've got the Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs at 3:25 this weekend. And then the premiere of the new season of Landman, ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We're coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
is Sports Daily on KFH.
You want to win a pair of Journey tickets. You can do it right now through November 21st. You can have a chance to win those tickets at Intrust Bank Arena April 4th. Text the keyword Journey to the number 20357. You can do it daily between today and the 21st, one entry per day. The winner will be picked around November 24th. Standard messaging and data rates apply on this one. Welcome back in here to Sports Daily. We've got a lot to get to today. Paul Mills should be joining us later this hour. Joshua Brisco next hour to talk some Chiefs. We were chatting about the Dylan Edwards situation there at K-State. He is in the portal, no longer with the Wildcats. Rick says maybe this is why we need a one free transfer rule.
We do,
but until
nobody enforces it.
But it's just not like the problem right now for college athletics is you can want that. We can all want that. From a fan's perspective, great. But the issue that they have is how does that ever hold up if it's legally challenged? Because it doesn't exist for any other student. It doesn't exist for really any of us in life. It's just this pretend made up thing that we have in place for college athletics. We know the NCAA has no teeth in this thing anymore. So
I don't know how the reason that we got to this point though, like think back to the Colby Rogers situation is the one that I always bring up, is that the one free transfer rule is a thing. And he I can't remember where he was first, but he was somewhere, transferred to Siena, played at Siena, then transferred to Wichita State. And the Siena head coach said, I'm not signing off on that. I didn't want you to leave. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not signing off on that. And that's the rule. Like, when players leave, coaches still have to sign off on it to say you can go and just play and we can say that we ran you off. Like, that's the rule, is the runoff rule, is that if we don't want you on our team, you can go play somebody else for free. And every coach in the country just kind of like have like an hand under the table handshake and say like, hey, we're just going to sign every single one of these guys. Like, we don't care. Like, if they want to leave, they can leave. And good on them. It's good for the players and everything like that. But the rules are in place. And to your point, it's not available for any other student. You can go. Like, you can still transfer. You just have to wait a year to play. And so, like, you can transfer the same as any other student can.
But you're going to lose that challenge in court. We've seen time and time again every single time. Like, it's
now the court rulings let the players do whatever they want.
That's right, because that's the legally speaking. And you may not like it. I talk about this all the time. It's not that I love it or like it even. It's that it's the right thing to do, legally speaking, under the laws that we currently have. The only solution is to change the law, which may happen at some point, probably will happen at some point, and or put guys under a contract. Like, you will get paid nothing if you leave. You will owe us X amount of dollars if you break your contract. Like, that's the only way but schools don't want to do that. And so until schools want to do that and risk unionization and risk, having to pay, that kind of insurance or benefits or whatever, do they get vacation time? Like, until you get into that world, what are you holding? Like, what binds a player to stay at a school? What binds a math student, whether he's under scholarship or not, to stay at a school if he thinks he's got a better opportunity at a different school? Nothing. They don't sit out a year academically. So it just, like, we can wish that these things were in place, but they don't make any sense. They never have. And forever people just kind of was like, whatever, I guess that's the way it is. And until they don't, and they finally pushed back. And now you realize, like, well, yeah, wait a minute. Like, how can they tell somebody that? That doesn't make any sense at all. How can you how can you make somebody sit out that has eligibility? What is eligibility? You're going to tell a kid they can't go to college anymore, right? So they have to get it together. Lawmakers are going to have to step in and set some of this in place, because they're going to have a different set of rules and laws than most people. So that has to be governed out, and it's a mess. It is what it is. Until they figure it out, we're just going to have to deal with it, and you hope it doesn't happen. It happens, it seems like a little more in college basketball than it has in college football, but it's happening everywhere. And hopefully they can get it sorted out. And until they do, this is the world we live in, and you got to go for it. And for everybody that says, "Oh, the sport's ruined," look at Tech, right? Tech has built a team that could go win a national championship this year based on a few kids that came in and transferred and elevated them up, and they just had a massive win over the weekend, and they've got the CFP. So it goes both.
It goes both ways, and I agree. It's not the fact that I don't like it either, but I do enjoy the wrinkle of trying to follow the portal recruiting and things like that, of seeing where these guys played before and stuff like that. And so that does add the other element to
I
this
hate
as well. But
I'll be perfectly honest.
I know you
I hate that part.
I mean, that college basketball portal season is awesome to try to follow, and we'll ask Portal Paul about that next segment. I don't know if he loves it, but he's freaking awesome.
He embraces it. You don't have to love it; you just got to do it. And it's hard, but I'm not saying I hate it in the sense of, like, once they start playing basketball, I don't really care. Once they start playing football, I don't really care. I hate trying to follow it. It's nauseating trying to follow what's going on. College football, speaking of, KU, TJ, doesn't get it done over the weekend. Are we comfortable saying they should have gotten it done?
They should have. Yeah,
this is
the same thing that we've seen 9 different times of just get the other team off the field and you win the game, and they've failed at it like 9 times in 2 years.
It's a tough one. They were, and it was the problem is, like, I'm a little careful to say should have, because they were never really like running away at any point or anything like that. They had the opportunity late in the game to win, but they didn't like dominate and let one slip through their fingers. It was more akin to Cincinnati not picking the ball off when you had the opportunity. So it's a bummer. Look, they got to get another win. And now it looks more difficult than ever to do it, right? Like, it's not going to be easy to get that win. Iowa State goes on the road and beats TCU. Now you got to go there after a bye. Like, everyone wants to knock on Iowa State and act like they suck. They don't. They just got a great win. So I think going to Arizona is a smaller ask than going to Iowa State, back-to-back road games. Maybe not after a bye week, but Kansas is in a tough spot at home against Utah. Yeah, they could win that game. I don't think it'll be a huge line or anything like that, but it's going to be a major bummer if they don't make a bowl game.
That's going to be a 10-point line, I bet, against Utah.
Maybe.
I think so. Utah's good. I think that the biggest conversation to be had about the KU game is that you can pinpoint whatever you want to pinpoint, but at the end of the day, like, you've lost a certain amount of games in that exact same way of letting teams just win it in the fourth quarter after leading for the 3 quarters of the game. Like, it's the stat of last year was the insane one. And earlier this year against Cincinnati, like, they got, I mean, Lance and the players, like, with that line of questioning of like, hey, this happened a bunch last year and it just happened again. They're like, it's just a coincidence. Like, don't bring that up. Like, it's a completely different team. It's different coaches. It's just a coincidence. It's happened twice in the same fashion. Like, I don't think that it's a coincidence. I think that there's something to be said about KU's ability to manage games on defense late, and most of them have come on defense of how you lose the game too. And so it's just it's backbreaking, and I don't know how you fix that. Like, that's the other part of this, is that whenever the Cincinnati game happened, is that Lance said, he's like, I wish that you could have seen our practices all summer and fall, because we did 2-minute drills to nauseum every day. Like, we understand how many games we lost in the final 2 minutes of the game, and they did it every day, and it's happened twice. Like, how do you even fix it at this point?
I don't know. I have no idea. Obviously, people that are really good at this don't know. It's just, and the craziest part of that is how many of those are different players than they were a year ago.
It's a different team.
You could be more aggressive late, probably offensively. I don't know the answer to that. It's a hard.
Yeah, you could pinpoint 10 different things about saying, well, if they did this and then they'd be up by 2 scores. But the fact of the matter is, if they got Arizona off the field, you win the game. And they scored a 40-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, you just have to get it done. I really, 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 really hope that they make a bowl. That's gonna suck. That's gonna suck. If they don't, man, that's gonna be a bummer. Can you?
If they like
this college
that,
football season's been very annoying.
That feels like an interesting conversation. That feels like an interesting conversation to be had about KU football. Of all the expectations that were not there to go to a bowl and lose, go to a bowl and win, and then miss out on a bowl for back-to-back years, feels like the expectation is much higher than that. It's like, well, where do you assess KU football? Is this a disaster year or what is this?
Disaster? No.
But it's a letdown. If they don't make a bowl, it's a letdown.
You know, what's funny about it is it's a letdown because we know they had the chance. But if I told you before the season, let's say that they were 5-7, that would have seemed like a reasonable expectation.
Yeah, but even then, like, I think that's still a letdown from what the expectation of the program is.
It's
like,
it's absolutely a letdown.
It wasn't
they shouldn't
like
have
they had,
years where they shouldn't have years where they don't make bowl games. You don't
not,
build new stadiums.
It's not the situation where it's like, hey, we have a freshman quarterback. We need to.
But
it's
and it's not the situation because you know where they were at one point and they didn't get there. That's I'm not saying it's we should. The reality is they've lost 3 out of their last 4. They've lost 4 out of their last 6. And they're stumbling down the finish line when they feel so close. It's right there for them. Here's my question for you. Their 3 of their 4 wins are home games against Fresno State, Wagner, and West Virginia.
Yeah.
Does K-State deserve to be a bowl?
The fourth one's Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah. The 5th one is Oklahoma State. Sorry. UCF.
Sorry.
They went on the road and beat
That's
UCF.
Right. Yeah. That's their best win.
Don't even count Oklahoma State. But so you got, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Wagner, and Fresno State are 4 of your wins.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that makes me feel a lot worse about a 5-7 record if that's what it ends up being.
The Arizona game. Well, but, I say that they only have 2 losses where they were dominated, right? K-State,
that's the other part, too, is that
Texas
of their
Tech.
losses, at some point, this is their – I mean, you could make an argument this is their worst loss of the year. Every single one of their losses was against a team that was ranked and K-State until this
I agree. One. It's their worst loss. Cincinnati probably felt worse to me at the time, but of course,
worse. But Cincinnati's turned out to be awesome.
Cincinnati turned out to be pretty good. Arizona's not bad. Arizona's 6-3. It was just the team that you felt like K-State was right there with, and they were, obviously. Look at the way the game played out, and it just didn't go their way, and now it's going to be a tough test. Got to get to 1 win. Boy, it'll feel big if they do, though. I will say that. It'll feel really good if they are able to get that 1 win. Other things in college football, you almost saw what you were joking with PJ Glasser about in Penn State.
Yes, I knew that line was too big.
God, the Big Ten sucks, doesn't it? Ohio State's great, and then it's just like meh. Like meh. The Big Ten is so overrated, TJ. Like I can't stand it. Drives me absolutely insane.
The Indiana-Ohio State hypothetical spread situation has gotten out of hand of what that's going to look like in Indianapolis.
It'll be like 13 points probably.
Or I guess there's no Big Ten West anymore. They just play the top 2
I don't know. I'm
pretty sure they just play the top 2 teams.
I don't know what they do. I don't really care. The Big Ten's overrated. Ohio State is incredible. And you know what the Big Ten reminds me of? The Big Ten reminds me of the old Big 12, where Texas or Oklahoma would be awesome. And then you just had a bunch of teams. But I would make the case that those teams were significantly better than the bottom of the Big Ten. Like the Big 12 rarely has had a collection of teams as milk toast as typically resides at the bottom of the Big Ten. But this is a year where you're just like, you watch it and you're like, like Ohio State's great. Who else is even that good? Oregon's probably good because they're always good, but they're not. I mean, that win over Iowa was fine, going on the road and winning it, whatever. I don't know. It's a league that tries to paint itself in the same light as the SEC, and it is not even close.
Yep.
Not even close.
Really in any sport either. Like, the SEC's far and away better at basketball.
They are now in basketball. Yeah, they didn't used
better
to.
in baseball.
The Big Ten has good years, great years in basketball. I don't know, baseball. Baseball, they have the same problem. Who wants to go play, February games?
I think the conversation that we can have on the show here is that the Big Ten is a women's basketball conference at this point.
Yes, it is great, but yeah, they're good. I think they're a good basketball league. But the other headline is Texas Tech and its dominating performance over BYU. If Morton is there, this team looks to me as good as any team in the country not named Ohio State right now. Their defense is right there with any team. Ohio State notwithstanding. Like, to me, they look like a top 3 or 4 team. And I really hope they get a chance in the CFP, and I really hope they get the other end of the bracket from Ohio State. I'm going to be so bummed if they get in and then play Ohio State in the first or second round somehow. That's going to be a major bummer, because I do think they've got it all. They're skating on thin ice health-wise. I don't know how everyone else's backup quarterback situation looks across college football, but Tech's got to keep their guy in there, and they dominate BYU 29-7. Wasn't close. Wasn't really close. It should have been worse, and there you go. If you weren't a believer, you got to be a believer now, don't you?
Yeah. Top 10 win by, double digits is a big deal. I think that they're I don't know. That's an interesting conversation to have, is if they played Ohio State, what's that going to look like? What's that going to look like if they played Alabama?
I think Alabama, they'd be fine. I think, Georgia, you can probably definitively say would have a case.
Let's just float this out there with the final minute that we have of this segment. If you put Texas Tech in the SEC this year, where are they going to finish?
Right there with everybody.
Top 2, top 1. Could they win the SEC?
Yeah, yes, I think they could. Georgia might be better, but I don't think Alabama or Ole Miss is much better. They could certainly beat Texas and Oklahoma, and I think that's what you're looking at this year. Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, Oklahoma. I guess A&M's up there. No offense, A&M.
Yeah.
A&M's good. A&M's really good,
A&M is good.
But I think Texas Tech could beat them. I would be worried about Georgia, but I really I'm putting them inside, and they're going to be there anyway. But they're to me, they're better than Oregon. They're better than Ole Miss. They're right there with probably Alabama. They're better than Indiana. I think that's probably where they live. Clearly behind Ohio State, probably clearly behind Georgia, and that's it for me. They're good. Go Big 12. All right, we're coming back. Paul Mills, Wichita State basketball coach, with us next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
The Odyssey Holiday Hookup now through Friday, November 21st at 11:30. You can enter this, taking care of all the food and fun this Thanksgiving. Win a full holiday feast and Thunder tickets for the whole family. Smoked turkey, ham, all the sides from Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, $200 in value or more, and 10 tickets to Wichita Thunder's Star Wars Night on November 29th. You can enter by texting the word thanks to the number 20357. Message and data rates apply. Good luck on that one, everybody. Trying to get connected with Paul Mills. We'll keep you up to speed on that as it comes. We're trying to set these for most Mondays here in the fall. Shocker Sports announcing a return with Odyssey. That happened late last week. So this will be a part of that. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll continue to try that connection as we make our way through here. TJ, on college hoops, K-State, Wichita State both do exactly what they're supposed to do with the opponents that they were facing. While we wait and try to connect with Coach Mills, let's talk KU for just a second. North Carolina, I know it was Friday, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Any level of concern for you there? I think for me, it's probably good that this team learns that sort of, I don't call it a lesson, but just gains that sort of experience. I don't think it means a whole lot. You'd like to see them win it, but they didn't. It's how they react to it that matters, which of course we won't know yet. But I don't think it's too big a deal.
Yeah, there's it cackles me that the conversations that we have about coaches that immediately after losing at Chapel Hill, the people on Twitter saying Bill's lost his fastball, Bill Self's got to step down. It's like it's Bill Self, people. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I think that they're getting their feet under them a little bit. I think there's a conversation to be had. Your best player is 18 years old. I think that that's a conversation to be had, that it's November and there's going to be some growing pains there. They kind of just lost it in the second half, and we're going to have to come back from a deficit, and you just got to put the shots up. And the biggest question that you're going to have around this team is that we've had since July is who's going to surround Darren Peterson. We'll keep figuring that out. I think that they're figuring that out. And whenever you're losing, you have one guy that's going to take the shots, and you kind of have to figure out who else can do that on your team.
Yeah, that's been my concern for this roster since last year when everyone was counting down the minutes to Darren Peterson. But we'll get into it. We'll see how they react. The Shockers, however, get out to it and dominate on Saturday. And we do have with us now Wichita State head men's basketball coach Paul Mills. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm great. Forgive me, guys. I'm not the most IT intelligent.
Yeah, we had that, and they said, we're going to try the video stream. And I was like, that first time's always fun. Once you get it, though, it is really easy. Technology is great. Like, we can have this, live streamed broadcast and really at the palm of your hand. Coach, you guys, I know coaches, you guys don't want to make too much of it, but I can tell you, scoring 100 points, I don't care when or where or who it's against or whatever, that gets people excited. And you guys do it in a balanced way. We're a couple of games into this. What are you learning about this group?
Well, I thought we've had good pieces, and you need to play somebody in order to figure out. And I thought there would be things that we were going to be good at, rebounding the ball being one of them. And, we didn't shoot it great in the opening night, but we did rebound the ball really well and was able to retrieve 52% of our misses, which, to be honest with you, if you're somewhere around the 37% mark, you're going to be number one in the country. So to be able to retrieve 52% of our misses, I know it was 41% the other night, felt good about our rebounding. And so that was something that was on display. I mean, it was typical probably of a lot of first games, and a first week is you're just sitting over there going, that's not how this should look. And we've got a lot in order to correct and get better. But, I feel good about who we are. We're in for a challenging week and an upcoming schedule. So it's one of those things where you're anxious to get back to practice and get some things fixed.
Yeah, Jacob, good news for you. Coach said after the game that they're going to score 100 every single time. So that's probably player of the game in that game was the local kid, TJ Williams. One thing I was kind of curious about what you've seen in this week. Obviously, no Jarrett Valencia as he's been out. Have you seen TJ kind of step up and fill that role and kind of carve out some more for himself? It feels like we don't know what it was going to look like to see TJ on the court. Is this an overachieving week, or is this kind of the player you thought TJ was going to be?
No, TJ is really good. And it's why we recruited him. You can look at the people that recruited him. I mean, we're not the only ones that thought that. And when you're the best player in the state of Kansas, you're probably been able to separate yourself through some skills. And he's a 2-to-1 assist to turnover guy. And so, as I share with everybody, we all expect you to be 1-to-1. Like, you need to help our team just as much as you help the others. And so if you can help our team twice as much as you help the others, that's a good thing. And so he has that ability. He can defend. And he understands that, my goal isn't to go out here and score 30. I can move the basketball. I can offensive rebound. I can defend multiple people. But it is his versatility that allows it. And I mean, he and Jarrett, Dylan Batee, all those guys are, we have depth there at that spot. So it isn't, there'll be times where they're all not all three of them, but there will be times where guys are on the court together, Jarrett, Valencia, and TJ, as well as Dylan. And all of that to say that I think that we have good pieces. And, what Jarrett does that's a little different than TJ is Jarrett has a lot of length and can block shots, like go get things that a lot of people can't. But TJ adds a ton of value simply because of his ability to bring the ball up and make decisions.
There have been a lot of centers. I've been here, I don't know, 12 years or so now, and it always seems like the Shockers run that way. You guys have Berg. He plays limited minutes this weekend. Is this team built and equipped and fine with the importance of rebounding and all that to not have that true guy out there all the time? It looks through a couple of games like they'll be just fine, but as you play some more athletic teams, I guess, are you good with the front court and its ability to do those things even when Berg's not out there?
Yeah, I'm really high on Emmanuel Okorafor. Now, he can't get 3 fouls in 90 seconds, which is what happened the case on Tuesday night. But really, really high on Emmanuel and his ability. I think Will, they're different. Eman being at 6'10", can really run the floor, really rebound outside of his area. And then Will, at his size, we can get him the basketball around the rim. So they all do different things. And then Noah's Hill has been a energizer bunny and been quite the spark for us to be able to go to a third guy and not have a drop off. We have to play a little bit different when Noah's out there versus the other two. But I feel really good about our front court. The three guys that we mentioned earlier, TJ Jarrett and Dylan Batee, and then you add Noah Hill, Emmanuel, and Will Berg. We've got a lot of front court depth and feel good about the senior leadership of our backcourt. So there's a lot there. We need to play some games and go against some really good opponents and figure out just where we stack up.
Yeah, we know it's November, and coaches take a ton of stock into November basketball, I'm sure. But you guys have talked about the depth of this roster. You said that you think it can go, 10 deep. We've seen 3-point shooting, be improved in a 2-game sample. We've seen Will Berg play really well under Nathan. We've seen a lot of ball handlers that can push it towards the rim as well. Is this kind of, we talked about that after the game, is this something that you envisioned that it was going to look like whenever you guys are putting this roster together?
Well, you always think you're going to be better probably than what reality is after you go back. I do feel like, Will Berg is getting his land legs. He just, he hadn't played a whole bunch, and he's played and he's practiced, but you need to go out there and you need to play in games and you need to have that environment. And then we need to play together. We need to have the guys out there. And when you have Karan, who's a senior, and Kenyon Giles and Michael Gray, the backcourt that we have that's experienced. Drake Kendall, even though he's in his first year, he's played, was an All-American at the junior college level. But we need to make sure we're all on the same page. And so all of that's kind of I've always considered November a growth month. And, the first week is in the books. And I thought there was growth and there were strides made, and we need to continue to see that.
We've got 2 games coming up here on the schedule for you guys, Loyola, and then on the road, a true road game at Boise. If we're going off of Ken Palm, these are 2 pretty significant steps up in what the metrics say and like about both of these teams, especially Boise, a true road game. They're top 50 right now. This should be I don't know how fun it'll be for you guys as coaches, but for fans, this should be a really fun week, I think, for Shocker basketball.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I really, TJ's heard me say this. I've got little man syndrome, and so I enjoy the challenges. I enjoy the prep work, and we're in for a really tough one on Thursday night. And Loyola Chicago is a good team. They've got players who've been around. Got an elite center, got an elite backcourt, and they've been on the short end of some tough games. And which in my mind just makes you even hungrier. And this will be a dogfight on Thursday against a really good Loyola Chicago team that's predicted high in their conference.
And I say this week, I know Boise's next week. We won't have a chance to talk to you ahead of Boise because you guys will be traveling. Those are the kinds of games, though. That's what we get up for, right? True road games like that this early in the season.
Yeah, you do. You got to test your team. We were able to go on the road in the opener last year and be able to figure it. You always try to get a road game, a true road game in my mind, somewhere in the first month to give yourself an idea about what you're working with. Our conference, they don't let us play all our games at home, so we can't wait till January to figure that stuff out. And so Boise State, you can look at any preseason ranking. I think they're getting top 25 votes, and it's that one's going to be a heck of a contest.
Yeah, Coach, I can't remember the metric that you pulled out, but it was something about the non-conference strength of schedule heading into the season. You guys don't have the true, players era, everything that, the Jayhawks are going to do or anything like that. But I mean, as you go through this, there's no game that you can kind of lay over. You guys kind of built this out by design.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, there are people who measure other teams' non-conference schedule, and it's considered a top 25 non-conference schedule. So we'll have our hands full, and it doesn't get easier for us, and anxious to get back to work. We had a day off yesterday, and you kind of get through that first week and pay attention to some things, the things we need to clean up. But there's a lot of preparation involved. Fortunately, we have some guys who've been around. They played college basketball. They've been in good environments. So anxious to see it this coming week, and then next week at Boise.
Few days for fans. You can go get tickets right now. Go shockers.com. 6:30 tip Thursday against Loyola. Coach, appreciate it. Looking forward to these visits. We'll talk to you again in a couple weeks after that Boise game.
Jacob, TJ, thank you guys.
There goes Wichita State head coach Paul Mills. We're coming back. Another hour of Sports Daily coming right up.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Happy top of the hour, everybody. Welcome back into Sports Daily here on KFH. If you missed anything in the past hour, including our interview with Wichita State head basketball coach Paul Mills, you can go back and listen in the Odyssey app to catch any of that on the podcast version of the show of anything you may have missed. We've talked some college football. We talked college basketball. We're still going to get into Chiefs with our Chiefs insider, Joshua Brisco. Jacob, though, I've got to ask you this question as we dig into the ongoing betting situation of all the things that have happened. We've got new information on the Guardians pitchers, Luis Ortiz, I believe, and Emmanuel Clase, both getting dinged because of allegedly shaving pitches, throwing blatant balls for about $12,000 cash outs. So that's one thing, Jacob. I got to tell you this part of it, though, before we dig any deeper into this. Pablo Torre from The Athletic has done some digging. He found the affidavit of the stuff that's happening here. And one of the things in there is that one pitch was slated to be a ball He threw 100 miles an hour straight in the dirt, and Andy Paw has swung at it and cost him $100,000.
That's incredible. That's pretty. This one sucks pretty hard. Like those guys are going to be gone forever. And Class A's a world Class A closer. Like those guys are done. Like they're gone forever. Again, I don't know. This is one I think that's just a little bit different than basketball, but maybe not all that different because this isn't like guys can just like leave a game with injury. I don't think player props can really go away too much. I mean, fantasy football is basically player props.
No.
But live betting is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Live betting is a little dicey and a little bit tricky. And so I think, again, the leagues are going to have to be the ones who come in and say, all right, we've had enough of that.
That's just too much micro betting is available is the issue, I think.
I think so too.
That's the case here.
Yeah, but I agree. The live betting is probably too much.
Yeah. To break it down to one singular pitch, like whenever you talk about baseball props, you should talk about Aaron Judge to get 2 hits. You think about even just
or fantasy points. They set it up somehow as the issue with it is that, but like for these guys too, how do you think you're ultimately going to get away with this now?
This one is just stupid because it's like, I mean, you made $12,000, but like if Emmanuel Clase would have pitched for another couple of years, he'd have hit free agency and becoming a gajillionaire. Basically,
I don't understand that part, and I'll never understand that part for athletes at this level because they'll make way more money actually participating in the sport that they'll now get banned from.
Yeah,
but and I get it. Some people have a problem and are addicted to these kinds of things. I'm not naive to that either. What I mean is like, how do you think ultimately you're going to get? You're just gonna cut a hole in your wall and as somebody that lives on the road half the year, keep a bag of cash somewhere? How do you get the cash? How do you like that money is traceable? And unless you're like a high level organized individual, like half the racket, we all watch TV shows, like half the racket is laundering that money to make sure you don't get caught when you do illegal stuff.
Yeah.
He's a baseball player. Like, what are you going to do with all that money?
I agree. That's one part of it. And the other part of this is I don't know the details on how this was done. I don't know if it was something where you walked into a casino and bought a ticket or if it was like a literally as minuscule as pulling out DraftKings on your phone.
No, it's third party. It's third party. I'm sure they created some way to communicate, and you stall on the mound, and you probably had somebody, I would imagine, in the ballpark somewhere, somehow that could get a signal to him like ball, like this is the pitch. Or if it was as like, if I get ahead 0-1, or like you can do that stuff.
It was the first pitch of the inning. I think it was like, hey, when I come in, just take the ball.
Yeah.
But
and so
the question that I have is if this is done on FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM, whatever one you want to pick, if it was done on something like that, like you don't think it raises an eyebrow of like, hey, we just took in $25,000 on this pitch to be a ball?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it does. That's what I'm saying.
Than the Terry Rozier thing, because like it's not that like people are crazy when they bet, but like it's not that far off to say like, hey man, like they're just not gonna be able to do it tonight. I'm putting $20,000 on his under. Like,
but you think people do that? They clearly don't, because it always flags it. Like it always flags. So there's a timing aspect. Like we are entering the era of AI, and like the computers are probably already ahead of us they are in processing speed, like how fast. So it's going to be difficult to do things that are abnormal, because for these sites and these, like, it's going to be too easy to flag it. That's what I'm saying about the money. Like, where do you think the money goes? Like, you don't think that they've got eyes on people that have that much money in their accounts? Of course they do.
Yep. That's the part that I think that like, just, I don't know. That's the part to me that just keeps you coming back and not being like, everything's rigged, I'm done. Because it's like the people that get caught for this or feel like they're doing the stupidest possible thing that they could do. And it's like showing the other athletes like, hey, like if you do this, like what is your plan?
What's your plan? And if it's not through the apps, if it's something as you're like, if it's off the books like that, then it could happen anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't really have an issue, right? The issue hasn't changed. It's the access that we're so afraid of, but the access, and this goes back to what I was trying to say with the Rozier stuff, is the access making it more likely that we catch bad actors who have always been tempted since the beginning of time, well before we had sports betting apps, and Joe Schmo can go, bet that Justin Herbert's going to throw for more than 200 yards last night. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we are just now catching things because they're easier to catch through the technology, or if it's happening more often. I think it's too early to say that. And I don't think we need to ignore it and pretend like everything's okay. Baseball probably needs to take a look and say, you know what? We're probably not going to do live betting on a pitch by pitch basis. You can scale that back. Maybe you say it's got to be like before an inning begins, or because if people aren't familiar with what we're talking about, you could have Bobby Witt Jr. coming up, and you could say, you know what, I think he's going to hit a home run, and you can bet that. To
your point here, like it's gotten to the point, and even in basketball and football as well, like you can bet, like, hey, this pitch will be a ball, and that's what this ended up caught being. But like you can break it down that low, like you can break it down in basketball to say the next basket will be a 2-pointer by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like this guy will score the next basket of the game. This person will miss his next shot. This drive will have a first down in it. Like that's how like minuscule it breaks down to now.
And those are long odds bets, so the sites can quickly flag when they hit because they're good payouts. Like so to me, like the allowing college athletes, like those are things where I'm a little more concerned, and would be like, yeah, we probably don't need to be doing that. This, I think the technology is policing itself. I think it's probably policing more than itself, to be perfectly honest with you. And because it can track tendencies and things that happen within a game that are a little abnormal. And then somebody can go back and look at it. And if we're sitting there looking at the end of the day, more of these things being caught, then we got to take a look. But the punishments must continue to be severe. Like these two guys will never play baseball again, ever. They'll be in prison probably.
That's what the biggest deal of the NBA situation is the fact that there was like that's the other side story. Maybe the bigger story is the fact that like the NBA launched an investigation into the Terry Rozier stuff a while ago, and they basically just kind of said, we can't really find anything. We'll just sweep it under the rug. And now this comes out, and it's like, oh boy, like what else is the NBA swept under the rug? And that's kind of the question to be had. So I agree. I mean, they handled Jonte Porter right. If you get caught betting on games and throwing games or shaving points, like you can't play the sport anymore. Like it's literally illegal. Like
it's a one-time ban. And if you're wondering, like Jamison Williams, he was in the arena betting on another sport. Yeah, you can't. You're just not allowed. What you're allowed to do, you're just not allowed to do it while you're at the team facility.
Yes.
They can play, like baseball players can play fantasy football. They can't play fantasy baseball.
By the way, while we got a little time here left, NFL players can play fantasy football, which has always been crazy to me. Like, and they do it and they talk about it. Do you know this? Like, they have like open conversations that they joke around about, like the quarterbacks will draft their wide receivers, and like there's like a rule where like it can't be worth anything more than a certain amount of money, and it's just like this fun like little thing that they do. But like football players play fantasy football, and they talk about it.
Oh yeah. They don't win as long as they can't win more than $250, and they cannot do daily fantasy football.
Yeah.
So
it's hilarious. That's always been the one thing to me in my mind where it's just like, if you get caught like betting on your wide receiver to score a touchdown, you're done. But if it helps your fantasy team, that's okay.
That probably shouldn't be a thing.
It's kind of crazy. It's been a thing forever. And like they joke around about it and they act like it's cute and they put all this stuff out and everything like that. And it's like, this could be problematic in a big way. Like,
we could probably not do that. We've got Josh Brisco coming up in just a little bit here on the show. Glad to do it. All this on tap for you, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the Cooperstown Pizza, Sriracha cream sauce base and topped with chicken, bacon, mushrooms, mozzarella. The Cooperstown now available in a lunch, full-size Wichita Brewing Company pizza and beer made here. It's all Brockton, Cleveland. We're coming back. More Sports Daily right after this.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland here with you. Thank you to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. Maybe a little chilly for golf out there, unless you're a sicko like TJ and would get out there in the 40s and let her rip. I will not, but I'll definitely be just fine going to grab lunch, going to grab dinner, having a beer up there at Crestview. So we appreciate their support of the program. Hopping on the show with us right now, Josh Brisco, our Chiefs insider. Hey, Josh. It is.
Hey guys, sorry for my my delay there. The dogs do not like going to the bathroom when it's this cold out. She just was buffering, just fully froze. I mean, look, I wouldn't want to either. I enjoy the space heater in the bathroom, but unprofessional both of me and of my not very regular dog right now.
Listen, Jaxie, our sweet baby girl, is like 13 years old and has to go down some steps. And she's always itching to get outside, but she obviously doesn't have the app that tells her what the temperature is. So she runs out the door and immediately like hits the brakes and slides across the deck and looks back at me like, she's like, you son of a bitch. You did not tell me that it was this cold out here. So I'm with you. I got you. I got you. No Chiefs, Josh. We'll get to the next one with them in a minute. Let's react a little bit, though, to what we saw this weekend in the NFL. Well, we go back to Thursday. Denver skates it again. But you don't worry too much about Denver, right? You play them twice. Buffalo lost a game that we didn't think they'd lose. And here we go again. The Chiefs' door gets opened back up on this thing.
All right, sorry guys. Apparently me and the dog are not the only things freezing. I think I've got you now. I think my computer has also brought me back to the land of the audio.
There we go.
Okay. So we're off to a rip-roaring start here. You know,
we got it.
Much like the Bills, I think we've had our Super Bowl hangover from last week.
That's right. It's the bye week. We're good.
I hope I will go grab my Wi-Fi cables and shake them until we can talk again. The Bills game is obviously the biggest takeaway, and I do think that there's a chance for a little bit of like collective reflection from all NFL fans. I think we would all be better off if we put every hot take, every takeaway, put it in a 3 to 4 week incubator before any of it ever makes it out into the public, because going week by week through the NFL is a terrible way to live at this point. We have seen the Jags play some truly embarrassing football after beating the Chiefs. We just saw what happened to Buffalo after last week. The entire state of the league had been turned on its head. So that's kind of I know preaching patience never does much in sports media altogether, or frankly in media or the world. But I really do think that was kind of my takeaway now, is looking at the fact that I think I said this to you guys earlier in the season. It just feels like everybody's the Chargers. And when everybody's the Chargers, anything can happen on a week-to-week basis.
It's true. While we're reacting, Josh, I'll just make you go back to Thursday night because we haven't talked since then. I thought about we should do like an emergency show live on the air after the game aired here on KFH to see what your thoughts were on the Broncos, because I'm sure you loved it.
Yeah, my thoughts were that everyone who put that on television should be in prison. Like, something has to happen. There have to be consequences for making us watch football like that. I did enjoy all the people talking about how it felt like a return to old school Thursday night football with like the Color Rush uniforms. That was a Marcus Mariota, Blake Bortles kind of game on Thursday night. And it's another absolutely stone cold perfect example of who the Denver Broncos are. And now obviously we can look ahead and know that this is the team on the schedule. Look, I think the Broncos are a deserving AFC West favorite. I think they, by every bit of math possible, they are in the driver's seat. And they deserve that. And they deserve credit for winning infuriating low-scoring games or tight games where they have to have these crazy fourth-quarter comebacks against teams that none of us think very much of. The thing about the Broncos that I just feel like almost all of us know by now, we've almost all wrapped our heads around the fact that they're 8-2 and no one wants to pick them in the playoffs. They will probably This is far from me calling it a game over, but they're odds on probably going to host a playoff game in Denver this year. And if they do, I will be sprinting to pick against them if they play an even semi-competent team who's been there before. I'm not a reborn Sean Payton believer, and I'm certainly not a Bo Nix believer. They have done some impressive things. The defense is very good. I think it's smoke and mirrors for the most part. And again, let me make this clear before we get into Chiefs-specific stuff. There is every chance that they beat the Chiefs on Sunday. I am not interested in putting a mortgage on the Chiefs beating the Broncos on Sunday, because the Chiefs are also the Chargers in this analogy. But man, you will not find me making an argument for the Broncos representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. I think there's no shot.
I would be ready to throw that mortgage down if we had seen Josh Simmons one time.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that Denver does really, really well is the thing that killed the Chiefs against the Bills.
Yep.
So, that's where, for me, if we just, if you could just tell me, yep, Josh Simmons will come in and he'll be what he was before he took his leave of absence, I'd be like, all right, great, the Chiefs are going to beat him by double digits. But because we don't know that yet, and what we just saw out of the offensive line, it's like, all right, well, there it is. That's the thing that'll make you lose sleep this week about that game.
And I guess on some level, there is that silver lining of obviously the offensive line, I think, was the biggest domino to fall against the Bills. And you saw so directly, not just how it impacted the play in, play out, but also what it did to Mahomes over the course of the game, where I think he ends up leaving some cleaner pockets because he's nervous about the pressure coming through. And he's nervous about the pressure in this game for one of the first times this season, because the offensive line, at least out of the first few weeks, the offensive line really started to earn that trust. And I think you saw Mahomes build that trust in the unit altogether there. So the case for optimism, and I think you're right to say that is the big glowing neon sign of here's what we should be worried about. Here's the warning sign. I do think that there is legitimate reason for optimism because you are getting Simmons back. It'll be very interesting to hear if the Chiefs just say, hey, he's starting, he's back, he's the starter again. If they're going to make the week of practice play out, what the status of Jawan Taylor is. Obviously, he didn't finish the Bills game. So if Jawan Taylor is limited even to start the week, I imagine it makes it easier to say, hey, Jalen Moore, good stuff. You're not actually leaving the starting lineup. You're just going to right tackle for a little bit. And then Simmons gets back in on the left side. Trey Smith should be healthier. Kingsley should be hopefully fully healthy. He came back in the Bills game. But it's just wild to think about how many nicks and bruises were across that offensive line in addition to Simmons being gone. So obviously, the other question I would have that I don't know the answer to is what was Simmons doing over those 4 weeks, just physically? Is he still in good shape? Is he able to keep a relative football shape, or does he need a little bit of a reacclimation period to get going? I don't know what 4 weeks of not being injured and not being in rehab for an injury, but just being gone for 4 weeks. Does that impact the strength he'll have now that he's back? And also, he came back the Monday after the Bills game. Maybe he's back on the horse now. So I do understand for sure. Man, if we could just see a little bit from Simmons, I'd feel a whole lot better. But I find myself, after being so frustrated by the O-line issues last week, or 2 weeks ago, I am relatively optimistic that they are going to be at pretty close to full strength. And I hope we see Simmons as early as we can.
Yeah, Jacob said he'll put the mortgage down if they can confirm that Josh Simmons will look good. I think that I would have put the mortgage down if they had Breece Hall in the backfield. That didn't happen. We haven't talked since the trade deadline. It sounds like the Chiefs offered up a fourth per some reports. The Jets didn't want to do it. Chiefs didn't want to send over that third-round pick, and now I've seen the stuff about, man, the Chiefs better draft Jamal Charles with that third-round pick if they didn't want to trade that. What's your stance on that trade?
I would have given up a third-round pick for Jamal Charles, for sure.
Yeah.
One of my favorites of all time. It's funny also because now Breece Hall yesterday ends up doing the funniest possible thing of I'm going to be so good that I'm going to try to undercut our tank campaign here. I will say, honestly, this is kind of deflecting, but it's weird business for the Jets. You are a team that is not trying to win, that's trading away its biggest foundational pieces. I kind of liked the Sauce and Quinnen Williams trades for them, by the way. Yeah. Why not get a fourth for a running back who's not going to be there next year? I don't know. I found that strange from the Jets side. I don't find it incredibly strange from the Chiefs side. The offense would be better with Breece Hall. The offense would have been better with a number of improved running backs. I don't think for me it would have been worth a top 100 pick for a half-season rental of Breece Hall. And if you're going to plan on, signing him in the offseason or whatever, that's a judgment you have to make before you make that trade. I think it's an interesting distinction that the Chiefs and Jets both got hung up somewhere between the 3 and the 4. And there wasn't like a conversation of, okay, fine, a 4 and a 7. And there was no middle ground found there. I do still find kind of odd. But you hear... Veach has talked about this some. You hear GMs and analysts talk all the time, about those top 100 picks. After that top 95, top 100, you're kind of throwing darts anyway. I mean, like, even in terms of evaluation, people are going to disagree more and more as the draft board goes. So I understand wanting to keep that top 100 pick. I also very much understand fans who would like to see Breece Hall on this offense with Patrick Mahomes and all of the weapons they have in the passing game. So I do get that. I was more surprised that they didn't make a move on the defensive line. I actually I think I would have made the bet that they would add somebody on the defensive line somewhere. We heard the rumor yesterday that they were interested in Boye Mafe. That was kind of interesting and kind of weird to come out yesterday. But I thought we would see a Colin Saunders type, if nothing else, and they're just kind of rolling with the group right now. Unless Christian Wilkins' foot or ankle or whatever ends up being fine and he's not kind of a mess to deal with or whatever, maybe the Chiefs have a backroom deal with him lined up, waiting for him to clear physical. But unless that's it, we're going to see a lot of Mike Pennell and Derek Nottie and Jerry Tillery going down the stretch here.
And Spags dialing things up to try to create that pressure. One other thing, this was the thing with running back of course, we're fond of Breece Hall. He played in our backyard here. It just, to me, the problem was not they could have swallowed the third probably, even though that's been a really good spot for them drafting over the years. What do they do next year? Are they there's I can't find it. I can't see where they pay a running back $15 million a year, which is probably about what Breece will get on the market at least. That doesn't necessarily fit. They've invested everything on this offensive line and these wide receivers and all of this. Like, they're not going to have room to pay a running back $15 million. So that's where it was for me. Like, Breece makes you better, and you could even redesign the offense a little bit to fit him next year. But still, like, they've invested so much in the pass game that paying a running back to me never made a lot of sense.
If I'm 100% with you, if Breece would have had, if it was 2.5 years left on his rookie contract, absolutely. If it's 1.5 years, if you say, hey, we're going to have you on team control rookie deal the second half of this year and next year, I'd probably tell you that I'd send the pick. And yes. I should tell you guys, we didn't ever have any of these conversations back in 2020. I have been pretty militant about not investing in the running back position that way because there are 3 at any given time, maybe 5 running backs around the league who truly make a difference. Look, man, Jonathan Taylor truly makes a difference. I'm not saying that no running backs can ever matter. I just told you Jamal Charles is one of my favorite players of all time. But like the Clyde pick, even at the time, I was like, man, all right, well, you understand that the range of outcomes here is relatively narrow, and you need it to crush for that pick to be worth it. To not take T. Higgins or Michael Pittman, or a few picks later, Jonathan Taylor. And that's still the running back coin flip there. But part of the reason that that's frustrating to me is because when you do put a premium draft pick asset into a running back, you at least have the benefit of, okay, it's a cost-controlled deal, and we're going to see for 4 or 5 years where this guy actually lands. To give up significant draft capital and the payout in Breece Hall's situation, I just think would have been probably pretty poor business. If they unite in the offseason and Breece knows the Chiefs were interested at the deadline and the Chiefs are still going to need some running back help, maybe they can have that conversation. I think I'm with you, Jacob. If you're talking $12 million or something, it's going to be a tough needle to thread, especially with the cap situation next year already. I do feel like the Chiefs may have dug out the floor a little bit these last couple of years in terms of how they wanted to build the running back room. A ton of trust in Isaiah Pacheco, the return of Kareem Hunt, really patchworking this room together. I'm open to having a more dynamic player in that position, certainly. But I do think that there are just a handful of practical things that stack up that would have made that trade really, really tough. And again, I don't begrudge anybody, certainly not anybody in Wichita, for just being annoyed that the Chiefs have another mystery box in April instead of having the best running back they would have had in quite some time on the roster right now. I completely understand that feeling.
It's true, Josh. Coming up this week, we get that Broncos matchup that's going to perplex the entire league. Nobody knows what's going to happen in this one. What do you think that the driving factor is to watch for in this one?
Man, that's a great question, because I do think that's going to be the thing that we figure out 10 minutes into the game. 5 or 10 minutes in, I think we're probably going to know, oh, okay, it's one of those. Yeah. I am a little bit worried that we're going to see that, like, now stereotypical first opposing team drive where the Broncos just march down the field and slice and dice, and we're going, holy bleep, Bo Nix is putting up 40. And then you see the Spagnuolo adjustment to one of those successful early drives, and then maybe the clamps come on then. I am still most interested, though, in what the Chiefs' offense looks like against the best part of the Broncos team. I mean, against a defense that does have the actual, no pun intended, but I'm going to take it, that has the horses up front, that does have some really, really top-shelf players all together, a unit that has collectively played some really good football this year. If the Chiefs get dusted by Bo Nix, they deserve whatever we're going to say on Monday. I mean, that's just where the standard is. If you're Chris Jones, you have to be in Bo Nix's face mask. You have, and you like mentally and physically, you have to be in between his helmet holes. Everything defensively has to look at least competent. You cannot look like you are getting walked over by a Broncos team that just doesn't. I just still don't think offensively deserves that kind of respect. The question for me is, does the Chiefs offense come out in this game looking more like what we saw against the Lions and the Raiders and most of that Commanders game, or do we see another version of the offense that's suddenly pulling teeth, where Mahomes is seeing a flash of color in the pressure and having to bail out, or choosing even to bail out early? So I want to see if Mahomes looks comfortable again. I think that goes back to our offensive line conversation, and I want to know, by the end of the day, I obviously the Chiefs just have to win the game. That's the most important thing. Super obvious, especially if you want the AFC West at all.
No certain. They're going to attack.
That, to me, the detail of it is obviously the win is the most important thing. I would love to leave that game confidently saying that, and if they can show that, if you can see an excellent day from Mahomes against an excellent pass rush, and yes, a little bit of a shorthanded but still very talented secondary, I'll feel a whole lot better about where they're going. But I will not overreact, because every opinion has to go in the incubator for a couple of weeks now, so we can sound a little smarter in a month.
They'll be fine. I have been a Denver doubter all year. If Denver beats the Chiefs, then I'll stop doubting. But until they do, I'm not going to do it. I'm not impressed by that win on Thursday against the Raiders. I'm sorry. I'm just not. And they have a lot of those this year. All right, Josh, we'll catch you on the Chiefs Radio Network Sunday. It is that late afternoon window. It's where we expect the Chiefs to be these days. It'll be fun. All eyes are going to be on it. It'll have all the bells and whistles. You guys will too, and we can't wait for it.
I hope we have a more fun post-game show than we did last week. I think we're overdue for one. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, you'll be fine. There goes Joshua Brisco. I'm with it. We're hesitant, TJ, to be overconfident because of that pass rush. And to be fair, Denver can run the ball a little bit. They can run the ball a little bit. I don't know that it's quite as effective as Buffalo, but they can. They can attack that way.
The Broncos' biggest strength so far through 10 games is they find ways to win those games.
The Broncos' biggest strength through 10 games so far is they don't have to play anybody for the most part. That's their biggest strength. That's what I'm convinced of. We'll come back. More Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right. Welcome back in, everybody. Thanks, Prairie Fire Coffee. Keeping us fueled up this morning, getting us ready on a Monday. It's been a wild weekend. So many things to follow now that we've dropped college hoops right into the middle of college football, the NFL, all the other things we're trying to track right now. The high school football playoffs go on to the third round now. We were just talking with Joshua Brisco.
Hey. It's the sectional round.
You watch your mouth. The sectional round.
Because regionals is less than sectionals. That doesn't make any sense.
We're in the third round. The round of what, 8?
Yeah.
The round of 8 in each bracket. So we were just talking with Joshua Brisco. If you missed anything with him, if you missed anything with Paul Mills, Wichita State head men's basketball coach, you can go back and listen to those for free on the Odyssey app. Denver, here's what it is for me, TJ. Denver this year, they beat the Titans, they beat the Bengals, They beat the Jets. They beat the Giants with an epic fourth quarter comeback. They beat the Cowboys. They beat a no CJ Stroud, lost early in the game, Texans, and they beat the Raiders most recently by 3 points. Yes, they have a win against the Eagles on the road. Good. That's good. That is the only win on their schedule that impresses me a great deal. Now, it's always hard to win games in the NFL. I'm impressed at their record, but when we're talking about how real they are, I'm sorry. Like, talk to me after they play the Chiefs twice, Green Bay, and the Chargers again.
Yeah.
They're lucky they don't have to play the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. Neither did the Chiefs, by the way. I get it, but they don't have to. So we're going to find out a lot about Denver. Denver is not the team that when we're looking at it, that I think is the concern for the Chiefs. The only reason they're a concern is because right now the Chiefs would be on the outside of the playoffs looking in, and the path to get there, that's where you're like, the AFC West is still the best path. Like, it's with the Patriots winning and the Colts winning, like the best path is still, if Buffalo's going to be one of the wild card teams and Baltimore's going to be one of the wild card teams, the AFC West is the best path to get in.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I mean, it is going to be a gridlock from the top to the bottom, and that's the case for the AFC West. Again, we haven't even talked about the Chargers. The Chargers looked good last night against the Steelers as well.
I think the Chargers are a way better team than the Broncos. They just have so many injuries on their offensive line that you don't know.
I mean, they're the ones that have just like flickered back and forth where it's like, oh, the Chargers are going to be great. Oh, they're banged up. They're not going to be that good. Well, they're still finding ways to win a little bit.
They've lost, I think, 5 offensive linemen through the course of the year. That's hard to overcome.
I agree.
And they're starting.
Man, they look good. That Steelers, they were only favored by 3, and they beat the brakes off the Steelers last night. And so, I mean,
their defenses look good. They don't have they lost their running back that they drafted in the first round. They lost both tackles, and I think they've lost 3 tackles. Like, it's been. But here they are, and it's because they have so much talent in other places on the field. They're like overcoming it. It's kind of like the Chiefs have been in some years where they're overcoming this thing. But you look at the Patriots yesterday. TJ, Max, you wear your flowers loud and proud today, because the Patriots.
Surprised we haven't heard anything yet. It's we're almost 2 hours into this thing, and Max hasn't piped in yet.
I mean, I couldn't have been more wrong about and look. I love Vrabel. I love a lot of the things they've done with the roster. I think they've sneakily built Drake May a good offensive line, and I think they brought in Steph Diggs, which was a big deal. But man, Drake May is an MVP candidate, and maybe at this point the leader in the clubhouse, or should be. They look awesome. They look really, really good. And I don't think that's going away, by the way, when you go to Tampa and you beat the Buccaneers coming off of a bye week. That's pretty big time stuff.
It is. They look great. I got to pull up the conference standings here. I got to look, because Chiefs are still in 8th place.
That's correct. Because of that stupid loss to Jacksonville. That won't come into play.
Did the Jags win that game last night, or did they lose? They lost the Texans.
They lost. They found a way to lose it. Houston had a massive. Davis Mills led them on a huge comeback late.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the part of this, though. Back to the Chargers here, is that the AFC West thing that everybody keeps talking about is that the Broncos are in the driver's seat. And Chris Collinsworth had a good analogy last night of I think it was Tariqa, one of the two, and it was like, if you let a horse run in the front of the race for long enough, they're going to start to think that they can win it. And the Broncos are kind of like that right now, but they're going to sputter, and everybody kind of feels like they're going to sputter. And whenever that happens, then it's like the Chargers are there too. And that's the part that nobody's really talking about. And give Rachel Halliburton flowers here. I guess we'll talk about the Chargers, that the fact that the Chiefs, they aren't the shoe-in to catch the Broncos. Like, there's another team. That game, and I think it's like mid-December that they're going to come to Arrowhead for a noon kick. That's going to be really interesting of where that's going to play in the AFC West, because I think that if they're going to play like that, even with all the injuries, that's kind of the thing that we wrote them off because of all those injuries. And as you said, they're still right there. They're still kicking. I think that if the Broncos do sputter, Chargers might be there to take that spot. That's another thing that people can worry about.
I think they'll both have 5 losses, the Chargers and Denver. That means the Chiefs have little wiggle room. It means that if the Chiefs lose another game, one of them can't beat either of those teams. So that's what I think both of those teams will end up with at least 5 losses. So I again, like, that door is still open. The interesting door now is that Buffalo lost. You'd have really liked to, if you're a Chiefs fan, you'd really like to see Tampa win that game against New England. But now Buffalo is capable of losing. We've seen it now time and time again this year. They're the team. They're kind of like the Chiefs or the Ravens. Maybe not even the Ravens, but they're kind of like the Chiefs in the sense that they can beat anybody or get beat anytime.
Are we
Because
going
of
to
whatever.
chew on this hypothetical? Are we going to see Chiefs Buffalo in a wild card round?
We absolutely could. Yeah. And that's what, to that point you were just making about if you let them run out ahead long enough, like at some point, Indianapolis and New England and maybe Denver, I don't think so, but could, like, eventually, like, they just have enough wins where all the teams in the AFC that are really good are playing as wild cards. Baltimore's only a game behind Pittsburgh now. Baltimore is the team to watch with a great deal of interest, because if we're looking at this with the 3 teams we feel like that are the biggest contenders, and I think this is still the case, is Kansas City, Buffalo, and the Ravens, and I haven't looked, but I'll bet you Vegas agrees with me. If that's the case, Baltimore has the probably the best path to winning a division at this point. And if that happens and those teams work their way through the wild card, now all of a sudden you have a scenario where maybe this thing runs through Baltimore. Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, like, I still feel fine about my Ravens over Lions Super Bowl prediction. The Ravens are right back there because their division is not very good. Isn't that crazy?
If people were introduced to the sport of football this year and they started listening to sports talk radio and all the media with no context to other years and looking at this, so it's like, why are you talking about the 10 seed? Why are you talking about the 8 seed? The Colts are 8-2. The Broncos are 8-2, and nobody has a single ounce of belief in them to do anything with it.
The 3. I'm going to pull this up just to make sure I'm correct, and I'm almost certain that I am. The 3 odds-on favorite in the AFC right now are Kansas City, are Buffalo. Oh, the Colts are slightly ahead of the Ravens. So 3 of the 4 favorites currently are the 6, the 8, and the 10 seeds.
Yep.
So, and I completely agree. And in fact, you know what? The Colts and the Broncos are not the same. The Colts are a balanced team. The weather is not going to factor in if they're the 1 seed, right? So, like, thinking of Jonathan Taylor in the cold weather, like, that's a non-factor for them if they're the 1 seed. But they're a balanced team that you better be able to stop. And even if you can slow down the run, they can throw the ball. They have a lot of pass weapons that they can throw the ball to, and they can play some defense. So that's a team that is very for real. I shouldn't dismiss them the same way that I dismiss the Broncos.
Give me the power rankings of Patriots, Broncos, and Colts. Are the Patriots better than the Colts?
No, I don't think so.
Colts
we go
Patriots?
Colts, Patriots, Broncos.
Yep. And you put all three of those below Chiefs, Buffalo.
Yes, I would take the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs over all of them.
I don't believe what the Ravens take. I believe your other 2, but the Ravens.
What is wrong with the Ravens take?
I don't know. They have 5 losses. Like, are they going to win out? And
how many of those losses came while Lamar Jackson was out?
I don't care. I mean, that's not the thing I'm talking about. They're great, but, like, are they going to win out? Like, are they going to win every single game the rest of the way? Like, there's a chance they might need to do that. And now,
since Lamar's back, they've been dominant.
They have to. I mean, that's my thing. Like, they're going to.
Here's their upcoming schedule. Okay, you tell me. Cleveland, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Bengals, and then it's New England at home, and then it's at the Packers, and it's at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those final 3 are tough. They could win 5 in a row though. But those final 3,
okay, so even if they lose to New England and Green Bay, which I don't think will happen, but then they go, then they win all the rest, they're going to have a tiebreaker over Pittsburgh, and they'll get in as the 4 seed. And then it's Derrick Henry, and then they're a Mark Andrews drop away from potentially a Super Bowl last year, right? That's I'm big on the Ravens. It's unfortunate that Lamar Jackson got hurt, but you better not let that team in the playoffs.
I don't know. They just had so many struggles with it wasn't just Lamar that was gone. Like, is the defense back? Like, they didn't have a defense at all.
Here's their last, here's their last 3 games since the bye week. They've given up 16 to the Bears, who we know have a really good offense. They've given up 6 to the Dolphins, who still have a good offense. And they've given up 19 to the Vikings. The Dolphins and the Vikings are road games. I would say their defense is back. Yeah, not what it was at the beginning of the year where it was confusing. I think it's closer to where it ended last year than it was at the beginning of the year. We haven't even talked about the NFC. The NFC is crazy town. Are you kidding me? How do you make sense of the NFC right now? We're going to see Philadelphia and Green Bay go toe-to-toe tonight.
Yeah.
What a game that's going to be.
7-2 Rams are staring at the 5 seed right now.
The Rams are the 5 because Seattle looks unbeatable at this point. Goodness gracious. Oh, and by the way, the Lions are still the Lions, and they're healthy as they smoke Washington yesterday. And Philadelphia and Green Bay would like to have something to say here. You're 7 seed right now, and the NFC 6-3.
Yep.
And that is wild stuff.
I actually saw somebody talking about this. It was a Carolina Panthers account that said, "This franchise is cursed. It's the best year we've had in 5 years, and the NFC is all of a sudden insane."
They lost yesterday to New Orleans, didn't they?
They lost to New Orleans. Oh, it's over.
I believe that. I believe that's what happened. But it's I love it. This is why we love the NFL. And then everything will be the same as always in the end when it's Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City standing in the end. You just watch. We're coming right back. Don't go away.